I'm a crash test expert, and we use the computerised information that we get from these dummies to pass on to motor manufacturers so that they can make safer vehicles. But it's pointless for the motor manufacturers and MIRA to provide all this information if children are not going to be protected in transit. You wouldn't try and fit adult clothes onto a child, so don't try and fit children into adult seatbelts. The crash test dummies that we use in the testing are very expensive and can cost up to £200,000 each. So if we use 5 of these in a crash test, that's £1 million. Motor manufacturers wouldn't spend this amount of money with MIRA if the design of seatbelts wasn't important. Therefore, it's vital that you use the correct restraints for the correct occupant. In particular, children must use the correct equipment to be used in conjunction with the adult restraint systems.
So it's not just a case of any old belt will do. Seatbelts have to fit properly, as we've heard from all of the experts. But if you still think you don't have to wear a safety belt, or a child in your care doesn't have to belt up for a quick trip to the shops, then think again. Lee Ford is a senior officer with Gwent Police, and he deals with things at the sharp end.
A lot of drivers and passengers are always very wary of travelling on motorways or on rural roads with a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. But in actual fact, the bulk of our collisions happen on short, familiar routes. We're talking a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, maybe a trip to the shops, whereby we put the children in the back, we won't bother strapping them in, we're only going down the road. The driver or front seat passenger will strap themselves in, they won't think about strapping the children in the rear of the vehicle. They're not concentrating because it's a short journey. They're thinking about why they have to make that journey so quickly. They're probably exceeding the speed limit. They're looking at the children in the back, and suddenly a vehicle pulls out of a junction. They stop the car. 30 mile an hour, it's not very quick. However, a 30 mile an hour impact can throw people anywhere in that vehicle or out of that vehicle. And often is the case, you could have children on the back seat who are thrown straight through the windscreen and into a vehicle that's pulled out in front of them. That often happens. And that's all for a trip to the shops to buy something quickly, where people can't be bothered to put their children in car seats in their vehicles. There can never be a reason why passengers put children in cars without them being restrained appropriately.